All right, man. Part two. Like I said, Marcus Rosa here, Pivott Boxing Academy, Josh Medina. Now we're gonna talk about probably the biggest fight in boxing. I think it's the biggest fight in boxing to be
no
made,
doubt.
along with the 135 fights. You know what I mean? But besides that, Errol Spence, Terence Crawford. I saw a report last night. It said Mike Coppinger, the boxing reporter, he said that they're really close to finalizing a deal in November of 2022. So that's not too far from now. You know what I mean? So middle of the fall, probably the biggest fight in the welterweight division, biggest fight in boxing for all the belts. Very meaningful fight, 50-50 fight. I just think it's the perfect fight all around. You got two of the best guys at 147 fighting each other. They're both in their prime. Both came off of spectacular performances, and it's for all the belts. So this is something that we really, really need in the sport right now. That'll definitely bring a lot of eyes to the sport, and obviously the more eyes that's on the sport, the better it is for them. So it's a great fight, and I think this is the perfect time to make it. What are your thoughts on the overall fight before I ask you who you have winning? What do you think about the overall fight?
Yeah, it's like you said, that's a 50-50 fight for real, bro. It's like I seen an interview you had, and you basically hit it on the dot. Like 1 week you'll have Spence, the next week you think Crawford, and it's like it's off of all types of different stuff. It might be performances, it might be little mistakes each guy make that you think the other guy can capitalize on. You know, that's the type of fight where I honestly think the winner is gonna be determined by the mistakes one guy make, and then the other guy capitalizing on that. I think their past opponents that each guy has fought hasn't been on that elite level that they are on. Whereas though when they fight each other, any of those little mistakes they make is gonna be crucial for the fight, because the other guy's gonna capitalize on it because the level of tier they are. So for that fight, it's small things like if it was like a keys to victory, I would look at it like for Terence Crawford. I know this probably be surprising to people. I think his keys to victory would be like coming out and fighting orthodox. If he fight the majority of the fight actually fighting southpaw, which people think he's a better southpaw, I think it'd be a mistake. Usually in fights he comes out, a guy be orthodox and he's orthodox as well, and that's when the guy usually beats him with the jab, and he'll get a little frustrated. The guy usually beating him from the first few rounds. That's when they're both in normal conventional style, orthodox, and then he'll switch off. He likes to keep that, almost like the southpaw and the orthodox. When you fighting for that lead hand, he likes fighting. He got a 74-inch reach, so he likes having a reach advantage on guys and like almost controlling them from the outside and then picking them shots and breaking them apart like that. So I think he's gonna try to fight this fight in orthodox, or he should, because if he fights Spence southpaw to southpaw, I think Spence he has a real good jab and he uses it a lot. That's where his success would be, and Crawford get a little frustrated that he's getting beat to the jab, and that's when the mistakes will start getting made for him. Spence will be able to start catching him. When he let his hands go, Crawford will probably try to be a dog because he's getting frustrated, try to sit there and fight with him, which I don't think is a good idea. It can be, because when Crawford do get into them dog fights, usually when he hurt his opponents. I'm not gonna lie, so it's like pros and cons. But for me personally, against a puncher like Spence, I don't like him doing it. I think it'd be best if he fights on, orthodox against Spence. That's usually how he beats his opponents, using, fighting for that lead jab. And then Spence has a thing where when he throws his straight left, or just his left in general, like I notice he'll shoot his left and then he like pulls back with that hand low. I think that's where Crawford looked to counter with his right hand. Crawford's like a sniper. Other opponents like Danny Garcia, when Danny he had some success with the right hand. He landed a straight right to the body, the looping right hand over top. But it was just one of them things where it almost looked like he didn't want to let his hands go. A guy like Spence, he's a sniper, man. He's gonna look for that counter shot. So that'd be bad for Spence.
Yeah, and you see how like you was saying like, oh well, he could do this, but then this guy do this. Like you see it's that close of a 50-50 fight, because they both got things that they come with, and then whoever the opposite is has a solution for it. Yeah. It's like, all right, Crawford come out orthodox, but then Spence has experience with orthodox fighters. Terence Crawford come out southpaw, but Errol Spence is the natural southpaw. You know what I mean? Like, they both got problems and solutions for each other. You know what I'm saying? This is the definition of a 50-50 fight. Probably one of the closest 50-50 fights I've seen in a very long time, if it's made at this point. I think it's all really because they're both such great, talented fighters, and either one of them can win. I think it's really gonna come down to who has the better camp. Like, I swear I just think whoever has the better camp and just has like the overall better game plan is gonna win. Like, I think it's all gonna come down to the training and the trainers. You know what I mean? I think it's definitely gonna be a battle of who's the more knowledgeable trainer, or what trainer formulates the better game plan. Because at this point, it's like they neutralize each other in their abilities. It's like Errol Spence is a come forward volume puncher, and he has crack to go on top of it. He has it feels like he has like an unlimited gas tank in a way. But Crawford has the boxing ability. He's brilliant at setting traps. I said great mobility. He could set traps, great timing, rangy. You know what I mean? And he's shown that he's had power with both hands. So it's like, we don't know what the fuck is going to happen. I'm going to just keep it a buck. I really don't know. Just like I said, and you mentioned my previous interview, I'm torn. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I have no clue. I could just see what they both good at and try to analyze it from there, but then it's like my mind all over the place. You know what I mean? So what I just think, the way that I'm going to be able to ease my mind is, to ease my mind from just even trying to formulate a solid prediction, it's going to come down to the trainers who has the better game plan, who has a better camp. That's what it's going to come down to. If either one of them has a shaky camp, or they're not in the best shape possible, they're definitely going to be at the disadvantage for this fight. That's what I personally think. And regarding that interview that I had previously, a lot of people was commenting, oh, this guy ain't making no sense. Because I said, if we going off, and it's just my opinion, you can go either way with it, because they were both great performances. The Jamil Parker, YSM Sports Media, he asked me, he said, who do you think had the better outing in their last fights? You know what I mean? And I said, I believe Terence Crawford did, because it was against a guy like Sean Porter, who I believe hasn't really gotten his ass whooped. Like, he fought Thurman, and it was a split. He fought Danny, it was a split. He beat Danny, right? Errol, split. You know what I mean? Like, he gave all these dudes tough fights. He got dropped. You know what I mean? He got dropped against Adrian Broner, but he dominated him. He got dropped against Errol Spence, but it was a real tough fight, and that might have would have cost him the decision. In all honesty, you know what I mean? Terence Crawford was the first person I saw that knocked him down back to back, and then it looked like it was about to be the beginning of the end. I never seen Sean Porter in a situation where it was the beginning of the end. Like, all right, like, this starting to get really ugly. Because even when he get dropped, when he stand up, he still looks game the entire time in his previous fights. Terence Crawford put him in a situation where his dad had to submit. Like, I know what the fuck is about to happen. Let me stop this shit before my son get put on a highlight reel. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was starting to look like. And that was impressive to me because, like I said, he had fought the previous top welterweights and gave them all gas. And he was giving Crawford gas too until that situation happened. But that was the first time where it was looking like, oh shit, like, you know what I mean? Like, I see it coming. I'm starting to see it. You know what I mean? So, and Errol Spence had a pretty great performance too. But I just thought stylistically, Ugas is not a guy who's very mobile, and he's a counter puncher. He stands in front of you. He likes to trade. And he takes a lot of chances. And for somebody to do that against Errol Spence is very dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the work rate that he provides. And once he hits that gear, he doesn't stop. Yeah, like, whatever round he decides, I don't give a fuck if it's the first round, the third round. From that round on to whatever happens, is all gas from there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So just looking at that stylistically, I knew that Spence was very capable of beating up Ugas for a clear decision or stopping him. And we seen what happened. We stopped him. Yeah, so I just thought that Terence Crawford had the better performance, but Now we could talk about what's your actual prediction? Who do you think is gonna win as of right now? Because like I said, I think we both share the idea that we're not sure and we're torn.
Yeah, for sure.
But as of right now, in
doubt.
this current mind frame, who do you think is gonna win?
Honestly, I'm gonna go with Crawford for the win. I'm going with Crawford for the win. It's gonna come down to, like I said, I think from what I've seen from Spence, there's certain small little mistakes that Crawford will capitalize on. I think he's gonna counter. That right hand's gonna find his mark, and I could see him really hurting Spence. And I don't care who you are, if you get hurt against Crawford gonna get you out of there.
Yeah.
He's a great finisher.
Yeah, I think he's one of the best.
Like, I'm not saying that Spence has no chance of nothing. This is one of them fights, like we said, 50-50. Yo, Spence could win a decision by volume alone, beating up Crawford, or he could knock him out. And then the same thing for Crawford. He could win a decision outboxing Spence easy, or he can knock him out of nowhere or stop him. I'm a favor Crawford for a knockout, and I'm gonna say a knockout on top of that. I think Spence is gonna get a little greedy with his work, you know. I don't want to say this in no form of like disrespect, but almost certain shots get a little bit desperate where he starts getting a little wide with his punches and leaving space open for, you know, if Crawford do what he did against Porter, he kept the tight defense, let some of them shots come in and just, you know, start counting real short shots. I think he gonna find a shot, or when Spence pulling out, I think he lands a punch that hurts Spence, and he gonna take him out from there. I don't really like saying that because I'm gonna be real. I'm a Spence fan. Like, for a long time I was going with Spence, and I don't know. I had to really sit down and just be not biased towards the situation. So I had to, you know, be honest with what I think gonna go down as a boxing fan overall, not just a fan of one fighter, because I like their style or anything like that. I think Crawford gets it done.
Well, I'm not gonna say I disagree, because like at the end of the day, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I can
Yeah.
definitely see your perspective.
Thanks.
And tomorrow I might wake up and feel like that. You know what I'm saying? But as of right now, I'm still stuck on Errol Spence winning, and I say that because, like I said, I really feel like there ain't no wrong answer at this point.
At all.
I just think that I think his volume and his pressure is gonna be his keys to victory against Crawford. Crawford, he likes to start slow, you know what I mean? And then he likes to collect his data and then step it up from there, you know what I mean? Then he start putting his shit together. And I think that's going to be a mistake that he can't afford to make against somebody like Errol Spence, but I can see him doing it just because he's so confident in himself. He like, man, I'm Terence Crawford, and this shit been working my whole career, and this is just another fight for me, so I'm going to do this, you know what I mean? So I can see him starting slow and Errol picking up. By the time Crawford turns it up, Errol will already be in the zone and start getting his shots off. And then the thing I noticed about Crawford is, I would say is a flaw. It could play to his benefit against the right opponent, but I think against Spence this would be detrimental to him. But I think like when he gets hit with a big shot, he loses focus, he gets frustrated, and then he tries to make it a point instead of just taking a shot and then just staying focused on the task at hand. It's like he throws the whole game plan away. It's like, all right, motherfucker, this is going to be a fight now. You hit me with a good shot, now I'm coming to get mine. But I think somebody with the pressure and aggression and power that Errol Spence has, I think that'll play to Errol's benefit if he does that. You know what I mean? So maybe Crawford's pride and his frustration may fuck him over against somebody like Errol Spence. So I think Errol gonna end up. I think he's gonna end up winning. Probably a unanimous decision. Possibly a split. Shit. Right. I don't know. Possibly a split, but I don't think I could see him beating Crawford by knockout just by the caliber of a fighter that Terence Crawford is. I think he has the smarts and the wits about himself to be able to last 12 rounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never really seen him fatigued either. So I can't really say that Errol would drown him. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets drowned because of how often Errol is working. You know what I mean? That might make Crawford fight at a pace he's uncomfortable at. and he'll end up getting tired and end up just getting the fight beat out of me. But Crawford's a dog at the end of the day, so I'm not even gonna put that on him. I'm not gonna put that tag on him that he'll quit or that like he'll just surrender from the fatigue. He'll be a coward to his fatigue or anything like that. So, yeah, man, you got Crawford, I got Spence, but I can't really debate you with it because it's that close of a fight. You know what I mean? So.
Right. I'm gonna probably call you tomorrow and be like, yo, I think Spence, for all I know.
Hey, and you know what? I ain't even gonna knock it. You know what I mean? Cause I might call you and be like, yo, I think Crawford gonna get this nigga. So it is what it is, bro. Josh, I appreciate you, man.
Oh yeah, anytime, yo.
And that's what it is, man. Let us know what y'all think in the comments. This Pivot Boxing Network, and we out.
Go like and subscribe, yo. And share that shit too.
Absolutely.